Of Mice and Men Band.
Of Mice and Men is an American metalcore band from Costa Mesa, California. The group was founded by Austin Carlile and Jaxin during mid-2009 after Carlile's departure from Attack. The name of the band is derived from John Steinbeck's novel of the same title.
History. Formation and debut album 2009 to 2010.
Of Mice and Men was founded by Austin Carlile, the original vocalist of Attack, and bassist Jaxin, an import from Auckland, New Zealand during 2009 in Columbus, Ohio. The two recorded their demo 7,000 Miles for What? With the band, though she wrote at Paper Tiger Studios in Columbus. Carlile and Hall searched for other members for about a month. They came across Valentino Artiga, drummer of Lower Definition, John Kintz of Odd Project, and Phil Manensler, a touring guitarist for A Static Lullaby. Carlile and Hall moved to Southern California to join up with the three. A little while later, Kintz was cut from the band and replaced with Shaylee Budget. With a question at hand asking of the departure of Kintz in a Q&A for the group, Budget jokingly stated John didn't cut it. On Kintz's part, he reportedly cited that the band felt he was partying too much. After reaching 1 million plays from their MySpace profile and just 2 months since its launch, the band uploaded a cover of Lady Gaga's song, Poker Face. The song was mastered by Tom Denny, formerly of A Day to Remember, and a copy of the demo was sent directly to Rise Records. Recognizing the band as Carlile's new musical project, Of Mice and Men was signed to the label. The group then traveled to the Foundation Studios in Connersville, Indiana on July 14, 2009, with Joey Sturgis to record their self-titled debut album. On December 6, 2009 they had 2 video shoots in Ventura, California for Those in Glass Houses, and Second and Subring. The band released their debut album on March 9, 2010, even though they planned on releasing it earlier. The album was originally intended to be released on February 23, however it was forced into a delay just days before its release, but leaked on February 10, 2010 by fans that hacked into the system. The music video for Second and Subring was released on Hot Topics website and made its television premiere on Headbangers Ball on March 15, 2010. The band joined the Squash the Beef tour supporting Dance Gavin Dance, along with Emarosa, Tides of Man, and Of Machines. Also in 2009, Of Mice and Men was support on the Atticus tour along with Finch, Bless the Fall, Drop Dead, Gorgeous, Vanna, and Let's Get It. After completion of the Atticus tour, the band supported I See Stars on the Leave It to the Suits tour with We Came as Romans, Broadway, and Covendetta.
Departure of Carlile and Hall 2010 to 2011.
Jerry Rush, who was formerly a part of Sky Eats Airplane, soon became a permanent addition to Of Mice and Men. Originally, Rush was a substitute for Austin Carlile on the Emptiness tour in 2010, which featured the band along with Alisana, A Skillet Drive, The Word Alive, and We Came as Romans. Carlile required a heart surgery performed in the near future and was forced to not tour by his doctor. At the same time, Carlile fell into a conflict with the other members. Through much deliberation, the band and Carlile decided to part ways. The group thereafter invited Rush to front Of Mice and Men. The band was featured on the cover for the 19th issue of Substream Music Press shortly after this decision. After the Emptiness tour, Of Mice and Men supported Attack. On the This Is a Family tour with In Fear and Faith, Pierce the Veil, and Emia. Months after Rush's inception, bassist, Jaxin left the group on August 23, 2010. Hall considerably explained that the reasons for this decision were made to concentrate more on his personal life as well as his clothing brand, Love Before Glory. Dane Poppin of A Static Lullaby substituted as a bassist for Of Mice and Men's then upcoming tour dates after Hall's departure. The group were included in the Punk Goes compilation, Punk Goes Pop 3, covering the R&B song Blame It by Jamie Foxx with Poppin on bass, and is the only recording by the band to feature Rush's vocals. The band participated in Warped Tour 2010. Shortly after the conclusion of Warped Tour, Of Mice and Men toured the UK in support of August Burns' Red and Blessed the Fall.
Carlile's return with Ashby, and the Flood 2011–2012.
Leading on to Rouge being a part of the band for already 9 months, the group confirmed on January 3, 2011 that they reached a decision to have Jerry Rouge leave Of Mice and Men in favour for former vocalist and founding member, Austin Carlile, to return to the group. Rouge posted an extended response to his firing from the band on his Twitter account. Carlile was under an intention for months to start a new musical project, with fellow musician Alan Ashby, until his request to return to the group was made. Carlile and Ashby were then both accepted into Of Mice and Men, with Ashby as an entirely new member. Despite Ashby and Carlile's short-lived drama over Ashby exposing Carlile's brief affair with fan Delaney Mike Lone, they remained bandmates and close friends. The group then underwent a slight arrangement, as they required a bassist after several substitutions that Dane Poppin, of A Static Lullaby, contributed to. Poppins needed return to A Static Lullaby after extensive touring with Of Mice and Men had the group move Shaylee Budget from rhythm guitar to bass guitar but remain at clean vocals, where Ashby was employed as rhythm guitarist instead of being employed as the needed bassist in the group. The refreshed band began the recording process of their second album titled The Flood in late January 2011. Shortly after the album's completion, the band headlined the 2011 annual Artery Across the Nation tour with support from Woe Is Me, Sleeping with Sirens, I Set My Friends on Fire, and The Amity Affliction. The band toured Europe and Australia in support of The Amity Affliction, along with I Killed a Prom Queen, and D's Nuts. They also later supported Asking Alexandria on a short 4-day UK tour along with While She Sleeps. On May 13, 2011 Of Mice and Men released a brand new single entitled, Still YD Jean. Also, on May 24, 2011 they released a second song entitled, Purified. Purified has been added to the 2011 installment of Sidey Undom's annual Warped Tour compilation. The Flood was released June 14, 2011. Of Mice and Men participated on all of the Warped Tour 2011. They were joined by former bassist Jaxin on select California dates for Second and Subring. From September 13, 2011, until October 14, 2011 Of Mice and Men supported We Came as Romans on the IMA Live tour along with Miss May I, Texas in July, and Close to Home. Afterward, the group headlined the Monster Energy Outbreak tour with I Will Wrestle to Be a Rance, I See Stars, Abandon All Ships, and That's Outrageous. For the Fallen Dreams were also included on the first half of the tour.
Departure of Shaylee Budget, The Flood Deluxe Reissue 2012.
In 2012 the group announced that they were returning to the studio to begin work on their third release. On February 9, the announcement of Shaylee Budget's departure from the band was released to the public via Facebook and YouTube. Shaylee had also released a video statement on YouTube, stating the reasons he had to discontinue with the band. He suffered from depression and alcoholism, along with other personal problems, and felt that he was bringing the other band members down. Shaylee stated he will not be returning to the band, has since started a new project, called Deshel, with Raul Martinez, and he is continuing on with creating new music for himself. On March 2, the band announced via Facebook that Austin Carlile would be taking over on all vocals for Of Mice and Men's third studio album. A reissue of The Flood was released on July 24, 2012. It contains 2 discs, featuring 4 brand new tracks. For Vans Warped Tour 2012, Aaron Pauley of Jamie's Elsewhere substituted on bass guitar and clean vocals. Pauley has since stated that he is no longer a band member of Jamie's Elsewhere, but he did not leave on bad terms. It is speculated that Pauley will have a permanent position in OM&M following the Vans Warped Tour.
Restoring Force 2012 present.
On December 4, 2012 the band revealed via Facebook that they are currently writing and demoing material for their next album. The band stated, in case some of you don't already know, We are currently home from tour for the remainder of 2012 and are now back in our studio working on our brand new album. Yes. An entire album of all brand new material is being written and demoed right now. The band entered the studio in June 2013 to begin pre-production on the album with producer David Bendeth. On October 1, 2013 it was announced that the band has finished tracking for their new album, having spent the summer in New Jersey recording the album, with David Bendeth, who was in the processing of mixing the album. On October 17, 2013 Alternative Press released the first studio video and announced the completion of the band's third album. The band posted this statement on the completion of the album. Over the past few months, we've been in the studio writing and recording our third full-length album with producer David Bendeth. We are excited to announce that after the most in-depth recording process we have ever experienced, the album has been completed and we can't wait for you to hear it. On November 26, 2013 the band released a teaser for a big announcement to come the following day. Your next day the band announced their third studio album named Restoring Force, due for release on January 28, 2014 in North America. They also announced dates for a UK headlining tour in April 2014 with Issues and Bartooth. On December 1, 2013 the band released their first single from Restoring Force. The single, You're Not Alone, is the band's first release with new bassist and clean vocalist Aaron Pauley. They announced that Bones Exposed would be the next song released from the new album. It was released on December 23.
Musical style.
Of Mice and Men have often been classed under the metalcore genre, and more recently nu metal. The first album was often called a typical metalcore album, relating its efforts to the likes of The Devil Wears Prada, We Came as Romans and Attack, and that it also had an element of post-hardcore. The second album was seen as a differentiation from the typical modern metalcore genre, and that it had become more melodic and that it had some slight nu metal elements. When the band had recorded the third album, their sound had started to incorporate a lot more nu metal elements into their sound. You're Not Alone, the band's first charting single, was compared to the style of Deftones, Disturbed and Slipknot. The third album itself has also been reviewed as a mixture of nu metal and metalcore by Rock Sound.
Band name.
When asked about the band's name origin, vocalist Austin Carlile responded with, former bassist Jaxin also commented stating,
Band members. Timeline. Discography. Unreleased. Tours.